Djay Pro is compatible with so many different controllers, ranging from about $100 all the way up to over $1,000. And in this video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to map and customize every button and knob on any controller for this app for the Mac. So in order to get to our controller settings in the app for the Mac, it's a little bit different than the app for the iPad. We're going to bring our mouse all the way up, and we kind of get this strip up here. We're going to go to the third to last one over here where it says MIDI. This is where you could configure your controller, you can map it, and then change some settings. So the first option is configure, and then it'll say the controller. Right now I'm using the DJ2GO2 Touch. And then down here we have options. So the first one that I would recommend changing is going to be the second one here, which is crossfader cutting mode. So if you look at the crossfader now, it does exactly what you do on the controller. So I'm moving the crossfader slowly, it goes slowly. I'm moving it fast, it's going fast. What I would recommend doing is putting this setting on. This is crossfader cutting mode, especially if you're using a small controller like this. Now crossfader cutting mode is on. As soon as you move the crossfader, it's going to snap it either to the right, to the middle, or to the left. This is great if you do a lot of scratching. You could do it chirp scratch easier, and it's much easier to cut the crossfader. When I DJ, I don't really mix smoothly with the crossfader. I use the volume sliders in order to do that. So having crossfader cutting mode, it helps me. It may not fit with your style of DJing, but if you want to change that setting, that is how you find it for the app on the Mac. So now we're going to go to MIDI, configure. So now this may look a little overwhelming. You may be thinking to yourself, how do I know which button I'm mapping? What do I do? It is very simple. This app makes it so easy to map these controllers. All you have to do is touch the button that you want to change. So on this controller, I would recommend, or any controller with this app, I would recommend changing the headphone buttons. This is to decide which side the headphone's on, but this app has an amazing setting where the headphones automatically will go which side is not playing music. So look at the crossfader, I move it to the right, and then the headphone shows up on the left. So we don't really need these headphone buttons because the app does it automatically for us. So we're going to press one of them. I'm going to press the one on the right. And now as soon as you press the button, it is going to select it for you. So you see, I'm just going to click on something random. Now I press the headphone button, and it's going to bring me there. And it's going to say which note it is and then what it's going to do. So now I press this button, and it says Deck 2 monitor active. So now we're going to click that, and then we're going to get a drop-down menu. So what we're going to do is, if you click over here where it says mixer, we could decide if we want it to be on a deck or a mixer. They consider like the EQs and stuff as part of the mixer, and then stuff you want for this side is going to be deck 1 or deck 2. So I am going to select deck 2. And then you move over to the right, and then we get more options. Now these are all our options. It may look like there's not enough, but what if you scroll down, it keeps going. So now whatever you want to do, any function of the app pretty much could be mapped in. But for this example, I'm just going to scroll down, FX1 enabled. If we look over here, the effects are all off. Now when I press this button, now this effect is on. So instead of having a useless button for the headphones, now this controller, which doesn't have a spot for effects, I could do my effects like that, either on the right, and then you can map it again to the left if you wanted to. I'm just going to show you really quick without talking and do it to the left one. So you see the effect is going on. So that's how easy it is. And then now if you wanted to do it with a knob, go over here. This is my This is the knob to monitor the headphones. With this controller, I usually just use visual cues and don't use headphones. So this might be a cool way to add a filter. So it says mixer monitor volume. I'm going to change it deck 2. And now I'm going to find filter. Done. So now look. So now this controller that didn't have a way to control the filters, which most people when they DJ, especially with electronic music, like to use filters, now I could use my filter like this by mapping a button that I usually, a button mapping a knob, which I never use on this controller. I never mix in the cue level of the headphones, even if I'm using the headphones. So now, instead of having a useless button and a useless knob, I have control of my effects, which I use every time I DJ, and I have a filter. Now, you could do this with any button, any knob. You could get really creative with this, and then also what you can do is you can save these. So now, if you go over here where it says MIDI configurations, and you press the drop-down menu, you have the built-in. That is the one that if it's a pre-mapped controller, like most of them are going to be with this app, then that is going to be the one that it comes from the factory. And then if you edit it, like this is the one I edited now, it's going to say edit 1. So it is going to show them over here. And if you press edit configurations, we could change it. So now it's going to be Numark DJ2GO2 touch. Now let's say this is the setting that I use for scratching. Done. Go to edit. And then let's say the other one. Let's say this one was mapped for EDM. So you may want to use different features, different effects, Nero mix, stuff like that, depending on what type of music you're doing or what style of DJing, what kind of crowd that you have. So with one controller, you could easily be DJing and then say, oh, I want to do some scratching. Now you can go up to MIDI, configure, choose one of these, scratching, and that, just like that, and now we're in our scratch setting, or you could go to your EDM setting. So you could have multiple mappings for the same controller, which I recommend you doing, especially if it's a controller like this that has limited buttons and knobs. And if you want to see my full beginner tutorial on how to use this amazing app for the Mac, check out this video over here. Thank you.